Buenos tardes. I hope I said that right. I think that's good afternoon. So hey, this is part number 3, and I'm looking in the wrong spot. Hey, yeah, I want to talk about our experience of finding that this is the last sane place on earth. And I'm going to go into about our experience renting this beautiful place, who helped us rent it, how that came about. And then I'll talk about the ways to qualify to get in, to get your temporary residency and apply, for your permanent residency. Is Costa Rica the last sane place on earth? It's like the 70s here. When we're out for a walk, like you see people riding their quads or their side-by-sides on the road, on the highway. No one cares. You go down to the store, like we're in Rio Grande, this great little neighborhood, just a small little community. And you see these couple guys and they're just sitting there after work on the steps at the supermarket drinking a beer. No one cares. If you're not being a goof, it's fine. They're probably going to get on their bikes and ride home, but after a beer, no one cares, right? They're just hanging out. What else? Bathrooms. There's bathrooms everywhere, and you don't have to beg for a key. So pretty much anywhere you are and have to go to the bathroom, there is one. Even like a little tiny corner store in the middle of a neighborhood. It's kind of refreshing being a girl. And then I'm just going to kind of jump into more common sense, like about the sanity. We hired Sarah Elena, if you've been following my stories, to help us relocate. And she's a relocation expert. And Home and Garden TV's just picked her up. She's that amazing, and she has a great team working for her. They helped us do our scouting tour last year, helped us rent the place that we're renting right now while we're in the process of buying a house that we didn't think we were gonna buy right away. And so in her, like, for part of your money, you have this like course that you take. Like, it's a big module that you follow. So it's pretty hot out here, I'm sweating. Whew. So in this course that we're taking, and it covers everything from shipping containers and banking and all these things. But she's talking about the medical and the healthcare. So there's private and public. And the public healthcare, once you have your permanent residency, it's mandatory that you pay into their caja. And that's based on your earnings. So, if you just have a small pension, you might only pay like $85 a month or $100 a month each. And then you're entitled to use their public system, where there can, be delays in waiting, but it's still a really good system. Or you can do the private, which is quite awesome. People are really happy with that. And she was saying, like, how up close and personal it is here, that she was sick one time and the doctor came to her house, and she was like, she lives on the Pacific coast. And another time, texting her, like, on WhatsApp. Your doctor will talk right to you. Like, it's not this big, Monday to Friday and waiting to get an appointment. And if you think you have bronchitis, like you need antibiotics, just like in Mexico, you just go into a pharmacy and ask for them. It's more the other things like, sorry, I wrote it down, painkillers, things like that, of course, you're going to need an appointment for. But for just your standard things that you know what you need, you can go get them. So that to me is sanity. And it's just, we're really liking it here. We just love it more and more. I'll talk about the noise though in a bit, but we're adjusting, but that's something we're getting used to. And oh my God, the pura vida, the waiting on things. It's a true test in patience, but I'll get there. Okay, let me just fly along here. I'm hoping it'll be a shorter video today. I only wrote out 3 pages and not like 8. So again, I'm just sharing snippets of the knowledge that we're learning from Sarah. I'm not an expert. I'm just sharing my experience. This is entertainment. And I really want to, encourage you to reach out to her or start watching her videos, Sarah Elena, or check out her website. And she's on Facebook too. I want to mention Trinity Motors again, because I was talking about how we bought a car. Like, our relocation expert, her staff member Augustina, put us in touch with Trinity Motors. And that was a bit bumpy. That was a bit pura vida, like, oh, they haven't got back to us yet, and then a week later, oh, it was in our junk mail. And that was still going on when we were in Canada. And then, we did find the car we want. They went and got it in Panama. They brought it back. They put the roof rack on as they promised, some extra parts. And then I mentioned in the last video, but I didn't finish the story because I jump around like that. We were having some trouble with it. Jeff's window was goofy. It was making an awful noise when we would like go uphill, like, and he could hear like, you know, something with the exhaustion just sounded funky. Now Jeff is a really skilled mechanic, but he was like, after paying what we paid, I'm not doing that. I should not have to work on this. They promised me that it was inspected, that, you know, they do all, make sure everything's top notch before they deliver it. So we did get hold of them, and while again, Pura Vida, that took a week or so to hear back from them and get that in the works, they did actually come and get the car. And they left us with a brand new 2026 Suzuki Jimny. And they had our car, I think, how long was it? Not that long, like 5 days, 6 days, and then they called and they came by and returned it, and it's perfecto. It's all fixed now. Everything's great. So we're really happy with Trinity Motors. So if you're moving down here and you're gonna look at buying a car, definitely use them. I wanted to mention also, I've got this coming up, but yeah, here it is. Sarah, if you don't want to pay, like we paid probably about 2,000 Canadian. I think about 800 and something for the scouting tour last year. And that was, you know, everything like arriving at the airport and, you know, renting a car and the Airbnb vetted accommodations and different groups to go visit and meet other expats. That was all through them. And then this year we paid the balance, which was about 1,200 and something, or 1,100 Canadian. And she also, if you want to do this but you don't have like the $2,000, you're gonna try it on something really inexpensive, she's got a do-it-yourself kit that is a lot cheaper. I'm not sure on that price. We wanted kind of more of the hand-holding because we're going like for the permanent residency, and we'll use her lawyer, and who I hear nothing but great things about from other lawyers and other people. It's great that, yeah, he's just Andre, top-notch immigration lawyer. So, but we're not using him for the real estate because some lawyers, you know, they got a niche and you really want to use them kind of for what they are really good at. And we've got somebody amazing now on the house. The house has been a bit bumpy, and I'm going to do a story next week or the week after. Like once we have everything in escrow, like we've already sent one payment, but once it's completed and we got the completion date, then I want to come on and talk about the divine timing because it'll blow you away. It's just really exciting. So, okay, now I'm just gonna look around here. Oh yeah. So I was gonna tell you, like, some rules when it comes to driving don't make sense. So you used to only be able to come down to Costa Rica and get a 3-month visa to stay. Well, they increased it to 6 months a few years ago. But the bureaucracy in charge of the driving didn't change theirs. So you still can only drive for 3 months under your driver's license. So you have to do a border run. And what we were finding out about border runs using Sarah's module, like the course that we're taking, is everybody used to, like most people go to Nicaragua because you can even do a little bus tour and it's just sort of quick. It's just the day, go over the border, come back, it's done. And Panama, there's 2 border areas that you can drive to, like park and then go across. The one is chaotic, she said, like just huge lineups. The one on the Caribbean side is a lot calmer and quieter. But what they've been hearing about was that they weren't being as friendly over there in Panama on the border runs. That it's almost that, it's called perpetual tourism. So if you don't get your temporary residence, like once you have your temporary residence card in your hand, you don't have to do these border runs. So there are people who don't want the temporary residence and they'll just repeatedly do the border runs every 3-6 months. Like you can do it every 6 months if you're not driving. You might live in a little town where you are just on foot all the time. But if you're driving, then you have to do it every 3 months. And I think they're starting to kind of discourage that. So Jeff and we thought, well, you know what? We want to go to Panama anyway. So we booked, I think for $880 Canadian, we are flying to Panama and for the weekend. And we rented like a hotel room that's like 3 stars but had really good reviews and a kitchenette. So we can save money and do our own cooking. Maybe we'll go out for one meal, and yeah, it's just like right in Panama City and close to the boardwalk. If you want to go to the beach, you know, it's I think a 20-minute Uber ride. So that's cool. We'll be doing that in August. after we move in the new house. So let's see, that's that. Okay, well, second page now. Yeah, I wanted to talk about when you're driving, there's a lot of, I notice on the Facebook group chats, you know, there's constant questions on, do you need to have your passport while you're driving? Yes, you do. It's law. So yeah, you might carry a photocopy and get away with that with 4 out of 5 cops. But if that one cop says no, like you need to have your original passport, you can get a big fine. So I highly recommend doing it, because last week, or was it a week and a half ago, we went to Gracia. Just, you know, it's about 20 minutes from here, a little town in the mountains. And sure enough, there was a roadblock and the cops pulled us over. That's good. We had Jeff's passport and his license. Cop was super friendly. Said, hey, I even speak a bit of English, joked around with us, and we carried on. But there are, and not, you know, it's not all, but there are some situations where they want a little greasing. So a good deterrent for that is a dash cam. So we went and bought one when we were in Escazú, and that's kind of the Beverly Hills of San Jose. So we've been to Santa Ana and Escazú, and then there's Alajuela, which is where the airport is. And ew, there's an ant crawling on my phone, but anyway, I'll leave that. So we got that. Jeff hasn't installed it yet, but he just charged it, so he'll be figuring out how to install that in the front and the back. So that's great for accidents too. So here, if you have an accident, you cannot move your car. Like, you have to stay exactly where you crashed. You're not allowed to move it to the side. So it causes a lot of, you know, backups. There's a lot of pileups. Not that we've seen too many, but last year we did. Yeah, and it can really hold traffic up for a while, because until the police come, you can't move your car. It's got to stay right where it is. So sometimes there's just rules that are kind of goofy and don't make sense. I wanted to talk about side hustles. Yeah, like doing the module, she provides like a whole section on vetted resources that you can use for like legal online work, like data entry. I was looking through it. Oh, like a lot of it I'm not even qualified for, but holy, if you're qualified for things, you know, accounting and different types of qualifications, there's a lot of stuff out there. But I'm just kind of hoping to find something like minimum wage, just, you know, data entry or virtual assistant. And it's out there. Jeff and I wanted to keep moving forward, so I didn't explore it too much yet, but I'm going to. And, you know, there's things you can do on the side as well, because you can't work here until you're a permanent resident. I talked about that in the first or second video. And that's the way it should be, right? Like even when you're a permanent resident, they're probably not going to hire you. They're going to give the job to their local TICO. And that I agree with that. And that should be like that in Canada, which it's not. And that's why none of our youth can find jobs. So we, the other ways that you can is, you know, buy your own business, right? Like, you know, you could buy a hairdressing shop and hire the staff to cut hair and reception, or auto mechanic. You know, Jeff could buy an auto mechanic business where he's just collecting the profit, but he would still have to hire like a local resident to do the work, and you know, get a lawyer to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row on the legal ways of paying people. And then there's other ways too, though, you know, like our duplex, like that's going to be an instant source of income. That's why we bought this house when we weren't ready, and I'm going to talk all about that in the next video. But the duplex is huge, and there's even a little bonus room, and we're going to funk that up with a bathroom and try and, you know, put in a little toaster oven and couple little things just to make it a little bit more independent, and, you know, reserve that for friends and family, and, you know, keep a, you know, very on the down low good price. And I don't want to do Airbnb because, you know, they just end up taking a cut, and then the government takes a cut, and you don't really end up, you know, by the time you pay someone to clean and stuff. And it's just going to be more for family and friends, like once a month, because we don't want to be entertaining people the whole time we're here. We just want to do our thing too. And what else can you do? You could, the online work, rent out a space, buy a business. Yeah. So, you know, again, you can, some people do things on the side, you know. Like you could house sit and pet sit and do other things. But, you know, caution on certain things, other little side hustles, because you don't want somebody to say something and, you know, have issues come your way. And then I want to talk about renting this gorgeous place. it's not easy, like, to find. We did not want to waste all of our money on rent, but we planned to rent, for 6 months minimum before we bought a house, because it's really important to know, like, the neighborhood and your location. And you might think the town you chose was great, but then in your travels go, oh my god, you find something that was even better, and you don't want to regret settling down too soon. So when we were last year, when we were still in Quesnel, I was just Googling, and I did find this place on a realty site, and the realtor who had showed us a duplex, and she knew we weren't serious at the time, but we just wanted to kind of see what you got for your value. I reached out to her about this place, and she said it was a bit too early, which it was. It was like in March. And so by the time we were ready, looking at more places, and I was like, I want this place. Like, everything else I'm finding isn't as nice, or, it's a bunch of stairs going up to a place, but there's no pool. I really like the looks of this place for $750 US. So by then I had looked through my old notes and realized that Sarah, our relocation expert, had recommended the vetted Gabrielle Simon. And she's broken away from Coldwell Banker and has her own realty company. She's amazing. We just love her. She's so great. She's so real, like Sarah, like, just good heart, sharp brain, and morals and ethics, and just gets right back to you, and was super honest with us. Like, as soon as we were out walking along, we were, kind of looking at houses, and we were like, hey, can we get some addresses, and just, right away she was like, no, you don't want that one, that's got issues. She will not recommend a house that she thinks has issues. So that's huge, right? There was one area that, we did kind of look online, and she kind of, looked at it with us a bit, because it was newer and updated, and it was sort of a gated community, and, it was small though, and we wondered, well, would that kind of work? And we're so glad we didn't, and I'll tell you more about that in the coming video about buying the house. But it's this area, we at first we really loved it. Yeah, I am going to talk about that in this one. Like, we really like it here. It's so cute just to go for a walk to the store, and there's a hair salon and a butcher and pet store and a couple of little restaurants. But what we're finding is, I'm sitting here sweating, it's humid. Like, we're sort of, I didn't realize how much we're sloped down from a tennis. It's in a low elevation, and it's pretty warm and humid. And especially, like, say it's like beautiful right now and sunny, but it's feeling really muggy, and you kind of know that the clouds are going to come in. And so it's like when it can't make up its mind whether it's going to be nice or get, cloudy and stormy, it starts getting really hot and humid. So it's a good indication. It was really rainy. We've been here 5 weeks today, and it was really rainy. I think going into our 3rd week, it was just pouring for a couple days, and that was it. Most of the time, it's just beautiful morning until afternoon, and then it clouds over. Sometimes it doesn't even get wet. Sometimes it, gets a little bit wet in the late afternoon and rains overnight. And then it dries, and it's beautiful and green. So anyways, Gabrielle helped us rent this place. It was through our relocation expert that Sonia was another one of Sarah's staff members who helped me greatly when I had to go to the bank, because the contract here is in colones, in the Costa Rican money. And so I discovered at RBC in Canada that you can't do the wire transfer to Costa Rica. It has to be in US dollars. And you can do it to Costa Rica, but not in their currency. So Sonia was great, because I had to send it to her in US funds, and then she sent it in the Costa Rican funds to my landlord. So that was a great help. So imagine trying to do that on your own, right? You think, oh, I'm going to save money, I'll just do this on my own, and well, good luck. If you find something that's in the Costa Rican currency. So this is again why you really need to hire this expert if you're going to do this. What else? Oh, I'm going to show you this great picture in a second. The landlords have 5 cats, and one that has adopted us right from the day one was Mariano, this orange boy, and he's so cool, but he bites. Like, he's pretty feral, but he's really, kind of cuddly too. He just wants to come in and lay on our bed for hours, and we try not to feed him because, he's kind of cheeky. But the daughter adopted him off the streets in Uvita. He was a street cat, so that kind of explains. And so the first week we were here, we were shocked to find out that our rent, $750 a month US, which actually isn't. It's in colones. 375,000 colones is now 825. But fortunately, we took out a bunch of colones back in like March and April, so we got it all at the rate that it would be equal to 750 US. So I don't feel like we're paying more than 750 US because we took all the money out when the rate was still better. But the US dollar's been dropping, so the colones is strong. Like, it's holding strong, but the Canadian, like if I'm out and something is like like 1,000 colones, say like something cheap, like a, you know, a coffee cup, then that's $3 Canadian. So if it's, you know, 10,000 colones, that's like 30 Canadian dollars. That's like 20 US dollars and 30 Canadian dollars. And same as the amounts get bigger, but it's easy. But it also, yeah, keeps you from spending because it's the Canadian dollars, yeah, kind of tricky down here. So you do got to watch that with pensions and things, right? The way that everything exchanges, you lose money. So we are trying to keep simple. And what we're really grateful for is eating healthy is cheap. Like buying your veggies and fruit and stuff is wonderful. It's, you know, buying junk food is expensive and we don't want that. And we've probably eaten out a little more than we should have because we love eating out and there's some great places, but that's kind of normal too when you first get somewhere. And we have a pretty small apartment, pretty, you know, it's functional, but pretty small kitchen. So every now and then we do get a little wiggly, want to eat out, so that's good. So anyways, I'm going to show you Mario because after we found out that our apartment included house cleaning once a week, then that night, you know, we looked out and there's the cat like sitting on top of our roof rack of the car, just like providing security, and he's tough. So what else here? Oh God, okay, I'm getting to the part about, I just want to finish about this place. The nicest family, like they are so kind and lovely. The owner and his wife and his 2 daughters and son. And I think, you know, the son does construction with him. They built this whole place 14 years ago. They designed it. The dad's an architect. And they're so lovely. The daughter, I did give her some help with her Spanish lesson, her English lesson one day. And she hasn't asked me for any more help. She came by though and practiced on us. And we were like, oh my God, wonderful, like perfecto. Like she's really learning and doing great. We need to get on that. But we're just trying to get through this house stuff first because it's been quite a process. And whew, pura vida, like lots of patience. I'm not the most patient person, so it's definitely, yeah, teaching me lots, yeah. And God's helping me with that. So family's great. What else? This apartment includes the bills, right? So it's all included. So that's very nice because it's not always easy to get a bank account down here. So if you get a place and you've got to pay like the electrical or, you know, the Wi-Fi and things, you can pay your bills at a grocery store, which is great. And we're actually going to do that right now, like with the house we're buying, because we don't have a bank account yet. We figured that it would probably look better walking in the bank to apply for the account once we're homeowners. And so that's our plan there. And but yeah, so definitely if you can get something that includes everything, that's pretty cool. That'll save you some money. And then I just wanted to laugh about the noise. Like, holy shizola, it's noisy. And we're getting used to it now, but we first thing like 4 a.m. we don't really hear monkeys, although one night there was monkeys on our roof. We both woke up and this clatter and shrieking and banging on the roof overhead. And I just looked over at Jeff and I looked over and I go, I think it's monkeys, and then I went back to sleep. But typically that was only once. And typically, you know, 4 in the morning we hear birds. That's fine, they're lovely, but you hear the birds shrieking, but you also hear roosters crowing and dogs barking, and there's some annoying little yappers. I mean, I get the big dogs, you know, if you're protecting your property with a big woof, but there's some that are very yap, 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 and this will go on for like, you know, half hour. And weed eaters, it's jungle here, right? So constantly, like everybody has a gardener, it just grows so fast. And so we hear like the weed eater growing all day. And this one guy was doing it. Jeff was like, oh, I just want to go help him because he's only doing it like half-assed, like So things like that. And I think the worst though, sorry to sound negative, it's just, I think it's funny, but this is true. Like you have to get used to it. Oh my God, karaoke. There's a karaoke bar up the road. And Friday night and Saturday night, they are going. And sometimes it's funny because there's like American, like American, Western civilization music, and you hear them and it's kind of laughing, but you're going to sleep. And you, like last night, they were playing this music that I was saying to Jeff, it was like, have you ever watched Little Miss Sunshine? Like the pageant, the little kids, and in between all of the acts, they're just playing music. It's pumping because they're trying to keep like the audience pumped up, like boom, 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 boom. And that's all you hear, and you're laying in bed and you got like a pillow over, got a pillow over my eyes, I got my earplugs in, like fuck. It's like boom, boom, ding, 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 ding. It's insane. And I'm like, we should just go there and sing like some heavy metal and punish them. Go there and break it. I'm kidding, but I'm kind of looking forward to getting out of here because that's been really annoying on the weekends. And you got the bar down the other side, they crank the music. There's a restaurant on the property here. They cranked the music a lot when we first got here, like the first night. And then we kind of said something to the landlord and he was like, no, that's not okay. We're like, well, I don't want to complain, but I don't really want to hear music like from 10 in the morning till 10 at night. Like, we want to hear our music and, watch things on our laptop and stuff. And so it's not been a problem. They've been pretty good. But anyway, it is noisy, so you just got to get used to that. And I just had to laugh because in the module that we're listening to with Sarah, when she's talking about picking out your place, like doing your homework, you cannot pick a good place from Google Earth. Okay, you got to be down here in the flesh. You got to live it. And like we were in the honeymoon period the first few days going, oh, this is so great here and it's beautiful and everyone's friendly. But now we're discovering, after making the offer on the duplex that we're buying, that's way up a hill and we never thought we could afford it. And you know what? We couldn't have afforded it. We couldn't. It's out of our price range. But I'm going to tell you in the next video why we got it for such a steal. I will tell you. Not going to tell you just yet. It'll blow you away, and that's God, like divine timing, and why our house took so long to sell in Quesnel. More divine timing, that God knew this house was coming, and it's about making other people's dreams come true as well. Like when we sold Quesnel. Okay, I'm gonna zip now because I can get into that. Okay, we're at 27 minutes and I'm still talking, so no, it's not going to be a short video. 4 ways to get in, okay, and then I'm going to go. So, well, there's actually 5, but it's pregnancy. You get automatic permanent residency, but I've passed that point. Yeah, so that's not going to happen. I was like, maybe I could adopt like a 17-year-old, make it so much easier. So then the least popular is rentista, and that would be, say you own some properties back in Canada or a business. Then there's a certain amount you would have to prove that you made, and I think it's like $2,000 a month US or $2,500 US. And once you can prove that you're pulling that income in, then that's good enough to come down here and start applying for your temporary residency. The other way is pensionado. And that's really cool because you don't need to make much at all. It's kind of shocking, like $1,000 US for the 2. I'm turning 60 this year, so my CPP is going to be like 600 and something, and I have a really tiny pension, 540 from the school district, so that's only like $850 US. Jeff doesn't qualify for CPP till next year when he turns 60 in October, like in 2027. So we aren't there yet. And we actually are going to wait till he applies. He's going to apply for that CPP when he's about 63 years old. It'll really spike and he'll make a lot more. The other way is digital nomad, right? And that's a lot of people come down here on that. Like if you have an online business or you have a remote job and you can prove your income. But again, I think it's a lot higher. Like the pension's really low. So the one we're coming in on is quite popular as well, is investment property, or the house. And it's kind of cool because you can combine your car. So let's just say that we bought a really humble home for 120,000 US and spent 30,000 US on the car. They will combine those because everything, like your car and home, has to be registered with the government. So that would qualify us. But 120 is not going to get you very much. Like that you'd really be out in the toolies. So if that's your dream, you want to be like off grid, out, way out in past Cartago or way down south in the middle of nowhere, then you possibly could do that. You could get a really cheap house like for under 100,000 and buy a vehicle. but remember you have to meet the threshold of 150, and that's only good for one person. So Jeff, this house is actually going in Jeff's name, not mine. I will be his dependent as his wife. And of course, you know, for years we've had a will done when our daughter was little, so we still have our will, so heaven forbid that, you know, something happened. I mean, it's gonna go in my name, and I'm not planning on divorcing. So even if we, you know, that something happened, you know, you would still go through all your legal channels because we are legally, you know, connected. I'm just the dependent though. So what you would do if you wanted it in both names, then we would have to spend $300,000. So say that would be like, okay, you spent like $230,000 on the house US, and then you bought 2 vehicles at $40,000 each or something. No, I'm getting that wrong. But you know what I mean. If you could make $300,000 max with the house and cars, then you could have everything in both names. I like things in both names because I know, like, when I was in insurance, it's much easier for everything, like when someone passes away, when it's in joint, for probate, just to transfer into the survivor, but it's not quite the way it is. So, okay, so I've explained that to you. And then plane ticket. Make sure that when you come down on your visa, when you come down, if you come down for 3 months, that's what they're going to stamp your passport. If you come down for 6 months, you hope they're going to stamp your passport with that. Make sure you look, because this one lady, I was watching a YouTube on someone in Panama who ended up with a bit of a mess because when they went through the Panama airport, I know we're in Costa Rica right now, but Panama's down below and you have to do border runs. They forgot to stamp her passport, so she ended up like with fines and just a bunch of issues. So you always make sure you look at the date, because if they don't agree to 6 months, that border agent might just give you 4 months. Then you're only staying for 4 months, unless you can maybe resolve that somehow. So super important to check that. You need to show a return ticket to get in. So you can't just come down here with a one-way ticket. They won't take you. You have to show that you're leaving. They want proof that you're out of here. So that's no problem for us. We're going home in November to get some more stuff and bring it down. But when we come back, right, then we'll be flying, like, so in November we're flying to Toronto, and then we're going out to the island and up to Quesnel. But then when we book our flight to come back here after our 2-week visit in Canada, if we've applied for our temporary residency, and if we have that temporary residency in our hand, then we don't have to worry about it. We could just come down here and not worry about that return ticket because we won't be doing border runs. But if we don't have it yet, if we're still in the process but haven't made it that far, then we're going to have to again book a ticket out of here. So whether that's just up to Toronto to see our daughter for a few days, then so be it. Sarah actually in her module talks about there's a weird website where you can buy a ticket, so it looks like you're leaving and you can cancel it, so it satisfies them and it's legal, but they don't like it. It's one of these weird kind of things, so it kind of satisfy them in customs, you know, the border agent, that you've got a way out, but then once you're here you just cancel it. And you would do that if you were in a situation like us, like maybe you've already got all your documentation and you're applying for your temporary residency and you know you're not going to go home. So that's kind of neat. Let's see now. I think that's about it. There is one more funny part about making friends, and I know this video's gone on for a while, so I think I should probably wait on that one. Gee. Yeah, I better wait, because this is getting kind of late. So I was invited to a friends group. Oh damn, you know I'm going to tell you, don't you? Through our new tenant, we went to see her, and I like her. She's like common sense, smart. She's a good lady from Texas. Used to own Pew, so I like her. She introduced us to her friend, and her friend told me about like a women's group chat and added me. And so the person that added me, and just say a few things about yourself, and you'll receive a warm welcome. Well, and I did at first. Everybody's like, my phone's ding, 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 ding on WhatsApp. Hi, welcome, Katie. Where do you live? Where do you? I explained where we were moving to, where we were buying the house, and Jesus Barrio, and I think it's Del Monte. That's the name of a fruit drink. I can't remember exactly our new neighborhood. And so, but you know what? Okay, like if you're watching this, most of you know that, you know, I have some pretty conservative values. And down here, you got to watch that because there's some that, yeah, you know, they have a certain derangement syndrome. If you know my scope on things, I think all politicians are corrupt. That it's a big club and they're playing us with a big show right now. But anyway, I do like to, you know, hang out, you know, be friends with people that kind of share some of the same beliefs and values. And so that my first issue on the group was this, I made a little joke about, oh, you know, blah, 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 or, you know, Jesus Barrio and retired, but not too tired yet. Huh? And this one lady comes on, like, just demanding that I explain what I meant by that. And I was like, she was really, like, kind of, like, just, yeah, like, I'm like, I'm new here and just being cheerful. And she's like, oh, you know, what do you mean by that? And da-da-da. And so I just kind of went, I wouldn't overthink that, you know, and I kind of, like, gave, like, the half funny looking face. And everybody's howling and supporting me, saying, like, da da da, I'm too tired, I'm not too tired either, and haha, and they're joking around. And once she realized that I wasn't gonna feed into her controllingness or her censorship or whatever the hell that was, she backpedals and she's like, oh, you know, I was just being silly. And I'm like, yeah, sure you were, but whatever. I just ignored her, right? I didn't take the bait. And then all of a sudden this other lady comes on and she's like, oh hi, I'm from Canada as well, da da da, I'm from Waterloo. And so I'm kind of smiling to myself going, well, that's the most woke place in Canada, just about. So that could be interesting. Maybe that's why she moved down here, to get away from it. But all of a sudden she starts private messaging me and telling me her life story in 3, like, I don't usually do this. Like, I just type, but some people send you like a stream of messages, like the voice, and she's bombarding me. And I've already said to the group, hey, just so you know, like, I'm probably not going to be on here too much until our house completes because we've got so much going on already. And, you know, so I was like, really, you know, just transparent, that don't think I'm being unfriendly. If I don't respond, I'm going to be turning off the notifications because I got a lot going on right now and I don't want to be bing, bing, bing. So she's bing, bing, binging me privately, and she's sending this big, long thing. And of course, right, she tells me who she is. She's like, and she talks really fast, and she's like, and I'm playing it for Jeff. And we're sitting there in the bedroom, and she's like, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, I have a, well, you know, I'm not retired, and I have this business, like, I do these retreats and everything for LGBTQ plus, blah, 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 blah. And I do all these things, and well, there's this one lady in last year, and when I told her about it, she just told me right off, and I didn't really understand why. And then I think I kind of know why. Well, I think that, you know, she was like really threatened by me, and that, you know, she was jealous, and blah, blah, blah. And then she just kept going, right? And she's like, and my, oh my God, like, and my brain is melting. And Jeff are like, yeah, we can tell. Like, oh my God, it was insane. And I'm like, Jeff, I don't like this group. Like, and they're supposed to have like a ladies' lunch that meets like once a week. Every month they change the restaurant, and I was gonna go, but I just went, after that one lady just, you know, tell me what you meant. And then this girl, like, telling me her whole life story, and sounding very woke, which again, like, I have gay friends, guys, you know, I love everybody. I just don't like the way the whole, it's been shoved on us, right? And the whole pronouns and just all of that is, I'm just against. And the kids, right? Like, just let our kids be innocent and that, all of that. And down here, like, I kind of mouthed off last year in Croatia at an expats luncheon because it came up, and I was like, why are you shoving like this ideology down here in a Catholic conservative country? Like, nobody wants it. Like, let's just stop. And we're all tired of it, and that's why I'm like leaving Canada. Like, go there if you want to be woke. So sorry if you don't agree, but most people that watch my channel kind of know my stance on that. So again, you know, I think the last thing I'll say on that was it was a bit, I blocked her, okay? I blocked her and I left the group. And I felt kind of bad. Like, yesterday was a very quiet day. It was kind of overcast. We didn't really have anything to do. And there was nothing going on with the lawyers. And I really prayed. I spent a lot of time talking to God because I was like, you know, I think of the Bible, like when Jesus hung out with you know, sinners like tax collectors and all these, you know, terrible people. And he would laugh about that when people would question him, go, well, why am I going to hang out with saints? I'm hanging out with people that need to change their heart and mind. So I thought, was I too hasty? Like maybe I should have just belonged. But I also thought about wisdom and discernment, and there's a time and a place, and you don't want to cast your pearls before swine, meaning that there's just some people that aren't going to get it. They don't want to. There's a certain darkness in what's happened to our world, and people are comfortable with that darkness and they don't want to see the light. So for my sanity, I just didn't want to hear that phone ding ding dinging. Even though I killed the notifications, I was still getting message after message. So I just left the group and I blocked that lady because I just thought she was a little cray cray. And I will find other ways to make friends. Like even like my tenant, she's 81, but she's fucking awesome. So that'll be probably one of my first friends. And my realtor, I hope. I just love her. She's very down to earth and smart and just has a great heart. And that's what I'm about. And you know, like I said to my friend yesterday, Brant Reacts, he's a nice guy on Facebook and he wants to move down here. And he's got a YouTube channel, so I put that on my community page to shout him out. But he was saying too to be careful. And I'm like, you know, our friendship circles shrink, and I'm very grateful. I've got my beautiful friends back home, my Fab Fives. I love them so much. I've got other great friends that I've made along the way. But really, when it comes down to it, I've got my husband and I have God. Like I have Jesus, he's my best friend. And I have my Bible study teacher from Quinnell that I keep in touch with. And so I can be okay with just having a small friendship circle. And we are going to a potluck next Saturday. People, I know them. They had us for coffee last year when we were here, and they're really nice. But I think a lot of kind of woke-minded people are in this chat, so we're gonna go. I'd still be interested to go and just, you know, I'll behave and just drink it all in. And sometimes on the Facebook groups, I notice like when people are talking about how awful Canada's gotten and come down, the people speaking with common sense, I screenshot so I have their names. So I'm planning to reach out to a few of those people eventually and, you know, have coffee or get together. So we'll slowly build our friendships. But right now it's just like focus time, focus on the house. And I can't wait to tell you all about it in a week or two once we've got the escrow completed and the money sent and the day locked in. Then yeah, I'm so excited to just tell you the whole story of buying this amazing duplex. The house in the clouds. It's just gorgeous with beautiful views and divine timing all over it. Okay, I'll see you later. Have a great day. Adios amigos. Pura vida.